This summer, last July, I spent 4 weeks and over $100,000 getting my team to build a new business, to be specific, fractional sales agency that does two things: builds and releases sales process and sales systems into companies and retains that business on a fractional basis. We built a 100-page doc going over everything we built. We built the offer, we built the lead flow, we built the appointment setting systems, the appointment setting infrastructure, we built the sales process for this offer, and we also were able to fulfill for the client that we were able to acquire 2-3 weeks after launching this business. So the idea here was, how can we merge build and release with a backend that actually retains all that revenue that we get from the front end? How can we build something, a model, a business that gets paid a lot of money up front, but that also makes a lot of money on the back end in a leveraged way? Today, I'm sharing with you guys a $1 million a month lesson. As most of you guys know, back in 2021, I stopped my done-for-you appointment setting agency, then started building and releasing appointment setting systems, processes, and I would also place talent into companies. I would charge a lot of money up front. That allowed me to scale to $1 million a quarter a year later. But I encountered a big problem. I was like, okay, I figured out a way to make a lot of money up front, but how do I retain clients? How do I retain revenue? And if you guys know anything about the valuation of a business is only as valuable as its capability of essentially guaranteeing future success. So literally, one of the formulas around valuing a business is called discounted future cash flow. And today I'm presenting to you guys one of the breakdowns, the walkthrough that I did, presenting it to our partners and our clients as we essentially built everything, and we're now giving it to the clients that we have in the incubator and to our partners so that they can take this lesson that cost me $100,000 to actually put together and apply it into their business and be more efficient. Today, you're going to be watching everything that we built. Is going to be more so like a more condensed summary, but we actually put in the Natural Born Leader the whole 5 weeks of building. Every single week, we're actually building the thing. We would build, so as an example, the first week we built the offer. Then on Sunday, we would present it to our members in the Natural Born Leader community. Then the following week, we built the acquisition on paid ads and everything. So we started getting 200 leads and we showcased everything that we built. So if you want the full version of the whole 4-week summary, then you can jump into the NBL community. We have like a $1 trial that's going on right now. But if you actually want the hard asset, the systems, the infrastructure, then you either can get it as a partner or part of the incubator. But I wanted to release this 2-hour breakdown because I believe that once you guys see this idea of merging build and release with a fractional service as a retention offer, then you guys are going to love it. And I believe information should be available because it's not like I created this knowledge. I also learned it. So if I can be someone that curates knowledge that allows you to make the best decisions for you in order to help you change your life and become your own hero. I know we all have people that we look up to, but it's like, wouldn't you love to be your own hero? And if I can facilitate that, because I have people in my life who have helped me become smarter, and the way that I'd love to be that person for someone else. So every time that you guys are getting these long form webinars or presentations, understand that at the core, what I really care about is to be valuable in someone else's life. So guys, please enjoy this training. And again, either get in NBL, get $1 a week trial that we're running right now, or if you want, can book a call, want to become a partner, or in the incubator. Spent $100,000. I grew a lot of white hairs. It was one of the hardest things that we've done. I'm never going to do a 4-week build out of a company from scratch. Never again. So this is the last time probably that you guys are getting this, because if I'm going to do this much work, I'm going to do it within clientacquisition.io and we're going to make millions. But love y'all. Enjoy. All right, guys. So today, my goal is to essentially break down everything we built. So for those who don't know, once I came back from the rally, from the Europe rally, so we went from London all the way down to Monaco for Grand Prix. Once I came back, one of the things that I was thinking about is like, you know what? I'm kind of feeling like I should kind of like step up a little bit when it comes to the way we market. Okay. One of the things that I hate the most, that I despise, is being like everybody else. Like I hate feeling like I'm just showing up like anybody else in the marketplace. And for those who don't know, the money is actually not made by rendering services. The top 1% earners in any market do something that they go 1% further than most people will, but they experience 100 times more earnings, right? So that 1% better actually ends up making sure that you out earn almost everyone you're competing with, right? And for me, that idea was, what if instead of me kind of like yapping online, like, hey, I'll get you clients or you don't pay, or coming in here and saying, oh, you should join this, you should join that. No, I'm like, let me actually build something really valuable, something that is undeniably valuable. And that thing was, why don't we build a business live in front of people? So came back from Europe trip. It was pretty tiring as a rowdy driving every day. Got arrested in Switzerland and all that good stuff. And came back, was decided like, okay, what business should we build? And we started brainstorming with a team. We're like, well, who's making a shit ton of money? And we realized that there is this niche of people running businesses, services, consulting, but primarily consulting and services mixed up together, who are clearing millions and millions of dollars without having to do much, right? And I'm gonna go through it. I just want to kind of like preface what I'm about to cover. But and I also ended up going to dinner with one of my old closer, Hassan, who, his life has changed. He's killing it. Just bought a G wagon. Anybody who buys a G wagon to me is like, come on, you're gonna be the typical, you're gonna be the typical money online closer guy. I would never buy a G wagon. I would suggest you guys don't buy a G wagon. Okay. Uh, but he told me like, hey man, I actually have a client paying me 40K per month. I was like, holy shit, what are you talking about? Right? When I see someone making 40 grand a month from one single person, um, I and probably not necessarily working 40 hours a week like a regular job. He's probably working on it maybe 10 hours or less a week. I was like, that is leverage, right? And we ended up deciding to go ahead and build a sales agency, right? Because the most leveraged thing you can do is the following: find someone who already has something valuable to sell, okay? And retain that person and just 10x it. It's a lot easier to take a business from 100 grand a month to $1 million a month than it is to take it from 0 to 100 grand a month. And that will forever be true, right? It is actually even harder to take a business from 0 to 20K per month than it is to take it from 20K to 100K a month. And even more easier to take it from 100K a month to $1 million a month than it is to take it from 20K a month to 100K a month. So we saw this line in the marketplace where everybody is aiming to sell courses, cheap coaching programs that don't get results. And we were like, you know what? There's actually a space here where you could find 10, 20 clients and print a whole lot of money for them and just get a percentage of that kicked back to you because you own the infrastructure and you own the talent generating that revenue. So we spent the 4 weeks. It was a lot harder than we thought it was going to be. Like I said, it's a lot easier to take a business from 100K to $1 million a month than it is to go from 0 to even 10K, right? It took us I would say that it took us 3 weeks for us to get our first client, when in reality, it takes less than that to make 100 grand or 200 grand in the current business that we're running, right? But it's because we already have leverage. While this new business was started from scratch, we started it for someone else, Brendan, who we're not necessarily working with to get working together anymore because it was just too much work on our behalf for the returns that we were getting. And yeah, so today I'm going to be walking you through everything we built, the results, and at the end, you guys are going to essentially be getting, I guess, everything. But check this out. I want to start by going over something. So the other day, I kind of like got the team on a call where I was like, hey guys, whatever you're working on, just cancel and just jump on a team call, right? I felt like there is something that in our industry is kind of like forgotten. And I felt like if I didn't communicate it with the team, we would end up becoming like everybody else. And that thing is, what is value, right? Everyone here. So I don't know, maybe you're in a situation where you're making 10 grand a month, or you're making 50 grand a month, or you're making 5K per month. And you're just trying to figure out like, how do I make more money? All right. And a lot of the times when you want to make more money, you tend to think that you need more ads, you need more this, you need more that. But to be honest, what you need to focus on in order to make more money is just go back to first principles thinking and understand, relearn the definition of what is value. So I want to first go into what is value. Okay. So value, in my opinion, it starts by first you need to understand a stranger's desires. So you need to pick a stranger and be like, you know what? I want to help that stranger achieve their desires, right? When someone has a desire, a gap is created, right? So the gap between where they're at and where they need to be. The gap is your opportunity, right? Providing value is bridging the gap. So as long as you can bridge the gap, you're providing value. But most people don't understand this, that the degree to how well and consistently you get paid is dependent on a few things. How consistently do you bridge the gap, right? So like when you out of 10 clients, how many actually end up getting results? Is it one? Well, if you get one client out of 10 results, do not expect for you to get paid or to get rich. You should expect to go broke over time, right? The second thing is how much investment and pain is required from your client and customer to experience their desired outcome. Do they have to go in and build systems? Do they have to go find their ads? Do they have to go build their VSL? Do they have to go, shoot content? Do they have to do a lot of things? Well, if they have to do those things, then don't expect your service to be that valuable or product, right? And then the thing that is the most important though out of this equation is, do you truly bridge the gap for every single person that buys from you? I want everyone on this call and everyone who will be watching this recording to ask themselves, do you truly bridge the gap with your service? Like, think of everyone that you've sold. Have you truly bridged the gap? If you haven't, please don't think that acquisition, that ads or the funnel or the setter or the closing script, that's going to essentially make you millions of dollars every month. It is not. It is not. And the example that I gave my team was, I compared Meta with a typical marketing channel, like sending letters to the mail, right? I was like, well, the person who sends mail, right, as their marketing channel, right? If you guys have ever read old books, marketing books, right, like Ogilvy or I forgot. I was reading a bunch of books back in 2020 and 2021 on copywriting, and Eugene Schwartz at some point was like, "Hey, you got better use the whole text, and the headline is really important." Blah blah blah, and they were like, you need to use the whole thing on the paper, and then you need to send it out, and you need to send out a lot. Well, compare that type of service with meta advertising, right? Mailing as a service and as an acquisition channel will never, ever amount to the market cap of Meta. But the reason why Meta currently makes, I think, I forgot the math, but Meta makes around
300 million a day or an hour or something. Or
yeah, so they Meta brings in $200 million an hour, right? I think that's like literally it, right? So 200 million times 24 hours. Yeah, they bring in like a few billion. I think it's $200 million a day, not an hour. An hour would be crazy. But they bring in $200 million a day. So every 24 hours, the same way that I may say, hey, we need to make 10K, 20K per day before breakfast. Mark Zuckerberg is like, hey man, if I don't make clear 200 M's, I'm not eating breakfast, right? The reason why a business or a marketplace is willing to invest and pour every single day hundreds of millions of dollars into an organization like Meta every day is because of one thing and one thing only. It is the product. Zuck doesn't have to go on YouTube and build a YouTube channel. He doesn't have to spend money on ads. He doesn't have to do none of that. His product is so good and truly bridges the gap so consistently that you would be stupid to go do things like cold call, door to door, cold outreach, cold email. People who still do cold email at scale, not necessarily where you're going after the C level of a company, you should for sure be targeted. But if you're trying to go massive volume of cold email, when you have Meta, I'm sometimes like, are you not clearly thinking? You spend 10, 15 bucks to get someone interested. You spend maybe 5 times that to get someone on a call. Why would you ever waste time using outdated and inefficient and inconsistent acquisition channels. And until most people understand that, you actually have to start thinking your time and money like an investor. You can't use outdated and slow channels because you're broke. So what? You're broke. You were broke and you also want to go waste time building a company through outdated acquisition channels. For us, all our clients in the incubator partners, we go straight to ads because we know that Meta is the company that brings in the most amount of cash through advertising. They've built the best acquisition channel, right? So it goes to the same degree to you, to your service. Do you truly bridge the gap for your clients with your service? If you don't, then please, if you're not making money, do not blame it on marketing. Do not blame it on sales. Blame it on the fact that if your product was that good or service, you would be making money hand over fist and not even know where to put all that money. So understanding this, right? And for me, the thing I want to go over is most like, even as an example, information, like what I'm going to share with you guys today is information, right? But to be honest, it's useless for most humans because most humans are inherently lazy. Like evolutionary, we survived because we had to save energy and calories, right? So we're literally biased to not expend energy to do anything. So when you give people just information, it doesn't actually change their life. But most people try to hide from this fact, and they praise that their consulting, coaching, or info business get the best clients for their results, when we know that from first principles, most people won't consume content. Average consumption in a course is 3%. And this is why I think that when I do these one-off longer trainings, it's a lot infinitely more valuable for people. And my competition don't do these type of stuff. And they think that they're just gonna get people to pay 10 grand and go into their circle or school community. I mean, go check out your consumption rate on your school or on your circle. It's literally 3% or less. I don't even know why people create content and put them behind their thing, right? So not only is the consumption rate really low, the implementation rate is even more sad, right? So understanding this, I said, you know what? Let's stop trying to give people more information, more how-tos, and getting them to implement in their business. And I was like, you know, guys, I don't want to sell any more how-tos or like implementation. Let me actually go from doing everything: ideation of a great business, of a great opportunity, validate the idea with my own money, get paid for that idea, get a client, and then generate results for that first client, and then take everything we built and give it back to our investors. For me, I consider every client, every customer as an investor. They're essentially saying, I'll take this dollar, I'll give it to client acquisition.io because client acquisition.io has built something that's more valuable than the dollar that I'm giving them, right? So if you're a company in the incubator or a partner, understand that everything we built and new insights we gathered are going to be yours by the end of today to create and to use and create efficiency in your organization. If you're not yet in the incubator or a partner, later on, I'll give you steps to essentially on how you can actually get everything and have us help you implement them, okay? But I just wanted to explain value, guys. Value is, do you truly get consistent results for your clients? Do you truly bridge the gap, or is it just 1 out of 10 clients that get? If it's a 1 out of 10 clients, then you can't outmarket and outsell that inefficiency on your solution. Does that make sense? Like, it's not marketers, and I'm in the marketing space, and this is why I have to emphasize this, because marketers sometimes think that I can just take advantage of a lie and delude people into thinking that, like, make something look better than it actually is, and I'm going to scale a business. No, it doesn't work like that, right? You have to truly deliver efficiency. Cool. Let's get into it. I didn't build the Google Doc. I actually just went straight into a Lucidchart. So this whole presentation is going to be on Lucidchart. I think it's always easier for me to kind of like go through this. Let's start with the real thing right now. Our industry has evolved and gotten more competitive and more complex, right? And there are 2 main paths for people in the game currently. Path 1 is stay simple, right? So let's say, as an example, you're being taught to start an agency, scale it. People are saying you should become a growth partner, growth operator. You should become a coach. You should become an infopreneur. You should start selling coaches or courses or coaching, high ticket coaching programs, right? So it's like, oh, just go start those business models and just use this funnel, VSL funnel, or use a school funnel. Like all of them are selling you this one thing, right? But I actually asked ChatGPT, what happens to businesses that don't evolve in a market that gets competitive? And here's what it told me. Businesses that don't evolve in a competitive market typically face several challenges that can threaten their survival. And here are some key consequences. Loss of market share. So the more competitive you are, so let's say if a market let's keep it simple. If there's $1 million in a market, right? So there's the whole market size is $1 million. If you were only 10 people working in that market, then you could all each make $100,000, right? But when there is 1,000 competitors going after that same $1 million market, then the most that all of you guys are going to make is probably like $1,000, right? So it is crazy to think that competition does not affect you. It is crazy. It is crazy. And anyway, so that's step number one. Understand that when there's competition, you make less money because there's more people to share the pie with. Okay? Reduce profit margins. Of course, if you're making less revenue, you're of course going to make less profits because you still have the same infrastructure to deliver on $100,000 worth of income, but you are making $1,000. Okay. So obsolescence of products and services. If a business doesn't update products or services to meet current demands, you actually are going to be useless to the market. So if you do not improve and evolve, the risk is that you actually become useless, right? And I'm going to show you guys why. Increase operation efficiency, customer attrition. So customers will leave you. Difficulty in attracting talent. Nobody's going to want to work for a business that's selling things that aren't valuable and that isn't innovative, right? Loss of brand reputation, risk of irrelevance, right? Eventually you become nobody knows you. Okay. Now, path number 2 is really simple, guys. Evolve and embrace change. If you do not change, if you do change and embrace the actual competition and the game, this is the game. The game is like, okay, cool. Every 3 years, the game changes and you gotta evolve, right? Look at Meta. They're creating language models and giving it out away for free, while ChatGPT is selling it for $20 a month, right? Was Meta with an advertising platform? Did they really need to pull out these ChatGPT versions? Not really, but they're embracing change. Okay. And the more you embrace change and you actually evolve and create new things, you stand out and thrive. So I was like, hey, what should a business do in order to survive and thrive in such a condition? It gave me a bunch of lists, like 12 action steps, but the only one that matter is the first one, in my opinion. And there's 2 things you can do. In a competitive market, you have to build new solutions that embrace trends. You have to leverage new technology. And most importantly, you must innovate your business model. Okay? Create new things, new solutions, leverage technology, and actually change the way you deliver your services, the way you acquire clients, the way you price things, change your whole entire business model, right? Explore new revenue streams, pricing models, customer engagement approaches to stay ahead of competitors, right? Cool. Make sense? That's essentially, if you kind of like look at my story of how, like the difference between the 300K, 400K agent appointment setting agency that I was running in 2021 and the difference between kind of like client acquisition.io as is today, the only thing that shifted was I embraced building new solutions and changing the business model. I did not work harder. I did not do anything. And that literally took me from a business that's 300, 400K a year to millions of dollars a year. And that was just through embracing change. Cool. Now let's go into, I'm going to actually go over trends supporting this business model. So as I showed you guys, I'm essentially going to show you guys trends backing So I'm essentially laying the foundation to understanding what we build and why we built it. Okay. So trend number one is online education. Online education is only getting bigger. People are starting to want to learn things online. People are starting to upskill and subscribe and buy a bunch of things online to learn. Like the traditional education, people are annoyed by it. And by 2030, it's saying that this will be $640 billion dollar market. Okay. Now, the problem here is most people think that the opportunity is in creating and selling online education. But no, that trend is already gone, at least for our space. Acquisition, marketing, sales, these were the first online education trends and products to be released. If you're teaching people how to swim, maybe there's still market cap for you. There's no competition. Go teach people how to swim. If you want to teach people how to clean windows, I'm sure there are opportunities for that. But if you are a marketer, a sales expert, a business coach, or a whatever, and you think that your opportunities in selling information or helping X or Y, Z sell information, then you don't understand it. We're past the first mover where they get all the profits. Sam Ovens made a whole bunch of money. Iman made a whole bunch of money. And guess what? What is Iman doing right now? I haven't seen him sell any high ticket course. He's selling digital launchpad. Why do you guys think someone will go from selling something that costs $1,000, $2,000 to selling it for $37 a month? What does that say? How do you thrive in a competitive market? What was it? Launch new products, change business models. What does pricing going from 1K, 2K mean to going to $37 a month mean? A change in business model. You guys got to see these things and actually understand you guys can't be consumers. You guys can't just be the people being sold. You guys got to understand the game. Nothing happens just because, especially from people who've made a lot of money. There are a lot of thought that goes into any change, right? So for me, this is what my hypothesis is in the online education, at least in our space. Everyone wants to sell info and high ticket coaching consulting. But the funny thing is most of them don't make any money since the market is done with courses and coaching, right? They struggle to retaining clients and have to keep chasing new clients month after month. This is the biggest problem for people running coaching offers and consulting or even course businesses, is that they have to literally keep acquiring clients to survive, right? And info and high ticket product entrepreneurs are struggling right now. But guess what? This is good because a gap is created for us. So the people who actually solve these problems for people, this has been an amazing opportunity for us. This is an opportunity for us to make money, right? But then there's also the other side. For the client side of things, everyone has already bought courses or coaching programs, and the desire has been created. But the problem is 99% of people who bought didn't see a result. And guess what? That is beautiful for us because a gap is created, right? So for the coaches and consultants and info people, they need someone to come in and tell them, hey guys, you guys are actually kind of cooked. You need a new business model. And for the students or the people who bought courses and coaching things, a gap is created because now they need execution and implementation, right? And I want to actually show you guys something. Something that everybody keeps saying, oh, what is build and release? And I get some hate comments on my YouTube channel saying, oh, what is build and release? Like, you made that up, you did that. Yeah, of course the term is made up, but the actual process is not made up. And I actually want to show you guys a VSL that I saw recently, like 2 days ago, while I was preparing this, from Cole Gordon, right? Claims to be making $3 million, $4 million a month. And I want to show you guys how what they're selling. I'll use the computer microphone so you guys can see it. And you guys will tell me what this type of service looks like, feels like, okay?
If you're an agency, consultant, or coach, it's creating short form ads and advertising on that placement using something called the short form funnel. And the reason why is because compared to traditional methods you've probably heard about in terms of getting clients for coaches, consultants, and agencies. So things like webinars, BSLs, book funnels, low ticket products, building this big organic audience, building a Facebook group, which all require a lot of upfront work. They're tech heavy. They have large budgets. There's no guarantee of success. They're competitive. Okay. So take a book funnel, a lot of upfront work to launch it. There's tons of tech. You got to test 20 to 30K if it's going to work out. You don't even know if it's going to work out. Also, it's very competitive. Like all those methods, there's a ton of people doing books, a ton of people doing webinars. So opposed to all of that stuff, with the short form funnel, it capitalizes on a huge trend. It's cheap advertising right now because right now this is pushed by the platforms. Like the platforms, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, et cetera, they're really trying to grow their inventory through short form content. Anytime that happens, there's a good advertising opportunity. There's very low competition. For instance, you probably never even heard about this before. It requires zero tech. So instead of building all of this crazy tech like you would for a book funnel or webinar or anything like that, there's no, and also it allows you to give value in public and sell in private. And in fact, if you're worried about the ad budget you will need is less than the tech that would be required to run anything else. So if you have a bunch of tech right now, you could basically cancel all of that, reinvest what you were ever spending there in the ads, and you'll probably be saving money or at least breaking even, okay? So here's the nitty gritty of what this looks like. Essentially, you're in a short format. Again, this is on like a reel placement or a TikTok placement or something along these lines. And essentially you advertise in that placement. So it's a 60 to 120 second ad. You can use your iPhone to do it. It's very easy. You can launch this in 7 days. And then the ad spend required is much less than your ClickFunnels, AR, CRH. Now, here, essentially what the setter's doing is weeding out the tire kickers, making sure you're getting a high show rate, only talking to qualified people. And in case you're wondering, we can give you the exact scripting and processes of how to run the triage as well. Then from that triage, they book the actual sales call, like the 60-minute call, which will give you the best practice setup to go to a more advanced method. So for instance, like I'm not like, look, webinars, VSLs, all of that. I mean, this is a VSL, how to get the messaging to hit. And then so marketing it. And even before I made this video, we started testing this with our clients and the results were so much better figured out. What the minute sales call process look like? Well, until recently, this type of stuff was the only stuff we helped our clients with inside of what's called the 8-figure boardroom mastermind. Now, if you haven't heard of this mastermind, it's really the #1 mastermind in the high ticket space. And it's specifically for people who are between 100 grand a month and $1 million a month plus, right? Most people, the minimum to get in, tried to do it, I couldn't figure it out. I mean, only as you can see here, 9% of businesses are making over than $1 million. And I'd say in the high ticket industry, it's even less. Today, it's figuring out how to get that predictable, scalable lead generation system in place. Also that my devious evil.
All right, guys, check this out. This is where the thing gets interesting.
Plan is you can join boardroom, right? So here's how it works. Essentially, we break it down into 2 phases. First is phase 1. Essentially, you come in, you're on an onboarding call. On this call, you're assigned an account manager, marketing specialist, recruiting manager. You're going to work with these folks one-on-one throughout the entire journey. Then we take you through a packaging and messaging intensive. Essentially, this isn't necessarily changing what you're doing or changing your product. It's just changing how you're communicating that to the marketplace in a way that's going to work with people who have no idea who you are. Like most coaches, consultants, and agencies are great with referrals, but once it goes to somebody who has no idea who you are, it's hard to get them interested. And you fall into this frame where you're like convincing them all the time. The truth is, if you can get the messaging right, you can really have something that strikes a chord with somebody and they become a client in less than 48 hours. Then we go through the ad creation process. This is essentially where you work with our copywriting team. We help you come up with 3 to 5 angles to test using the short form funnel. So we make sure, it's not just like, hey, write some ads, good luck. We make sure they are good and do whatever revisions or rewrites needed to make sure you're going to market with very, very high quality stuff. Then from there, we get on an ads pre-launch call. This is where we make sure that your ads are set up correctly before launch. And then we literally press go with you on the call. So the goal here is to take away any sort of technical or media buying mistakes that could ruin your first initial test. That happens so many times where, ads are a lot of the stuff, like this isn't hard. But, maybe you just click the wrong button or you didn't set up the pixel the right way or this conversion event is wrong. We can make sure all of that stuff is QC'd so it's all ready to go before launch. Then we let the ads run for 4 to 6 days or 4 to 7 days. And then from there, we set up a second call where we review the data and we tell you what to optimize, what to scale, what to iterate. And then we'll book additional one-on-ones if needed to make sure the system's going to work. Now, once it's working and it's validated, we enter into phase 2. This is the setter recruiting process. So essentially, once you enter into this phase, we give you 3 to 5 candidates within 3 to 5 days. Our sales recruiting company, we're very good. We're a full cycle recruiting company. We have over a dozen full cycle recruiters. 85% of folks hire within the first batch. And then the 15% who don't hire in that first batch of 3 to 5, you just request another batch of 3 to 5 and you're ramping properly. Then at this stage in optimization, everything should be working by now. So at this stage, you got leads coming in, they're broken sales if you need it or if you want it. And you can, look into that service if you would like. But the reason I include it here is because a lot of clients, once they get the system in place and their calendar is jam-packed with sales calls, they want to get off the phones, delegate those calls to a closer, and then that way they have a fully automated lead generation and sales system, and they're getting clients on autopilot. Okay. So at this stage, you can really step out and start to work on your business, not in your business. And then we get to this phase called scale. So here's a breakdown of the scale aspect of short form funnel accelerators. So again, for context, we went from 0 to 25 million an issue anymore. We can and will help you in every other key area of the business as well. So I'll give you a quick rundown. For instance, we're running a marketing team at the highest level, like an 8-figure, multiple 8-figure marketing team. We're getting really great ROAS on our ads, 10 to 1. When we were lower revenue, we were getting way more than that. Everything we do in the marketing department, we can show you. Same with sales. RM, the fulfillment onto and the growth. Okay, so that.
All right, guys. So this is someone who's making multiple 8 figures a year. And what is he doing? For those who've actually seen the fulfillment of build and release, no one, and I keep saying it, and I keep saying it, guys. I could, if you guys could, I try to find this, right? But if you could go to an old VSL from 2021, like when I launched initially my my business, my first BNR, it was literally the same VSL, right? I don't know. I mean, some clients here could even approve. The pitch was, you're going to come in, we're going to validate your offer. Then we're going to validate your appointment setting channel. Then we're going to place setters. Then we're going to optimize the thing. Then we're going to let you go. And it's 10 grand, right? That's how I made my first $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $5 million in the last 2 years, right? And I'm telling people, you got to stop selling coaching. Even Cole Gordon isn't selling coaching. Of all the people who could potentially just say, hey, come, I'll coach you on what I built and just give you a course. He's not even doing that, right? He's selling implementation, right? And that is, for me, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, if people won't listen to me, maybe they'll listen to this VSL that's essentially someone's telling you that they're going to build and release their systems, their process, and even talent, right? So this is the trend that whatever they're doing is working. If they're making millions a month, then who better else to copy? Copy them, right? And I like the short form content insight. So for those who know anything about when we're building infrastructures, your growth infrastructure has to have a specific insight, tactical, strategic, that gives a market an edge. So as an example, you can't come in and just say, oh, we'll place setter or a setter and a funnel for you. Why would I do that? The reason why for us, our first BNR worked really well is because it had a specific angle. The angle was, we're going to come and build an infrastructure that costs you $1,000 a month or less with $3 an hour VAs, right? And they're going to generate the leads and set the appointments. And that messaging to people were like, holy shit, for just $1K a month, I can get an infrastructure that just generates me leads, appointments, and clients on autopilot. That's what worked. So for Cole Gordon, he's, I guess, with his team, his board team and his leadership team, they're like, okay, what is the next best angle we can use? And they found that short form content get easily distributed on platforms. And he took that as the new thing. So the same way that I'm coining it as BNR, he's coining a specific efficiency. He found this little thing in the market that's giving efficiency to people, and he's just helping them implement that infrastructure and selling it for, I don't know, has anyone gotten on call with Cole Gordon's team? I'm probably selling this for like 30K. like put up a reel and put up setters, and he's probably, I know they charge crazy amounts of money, but hey, kudos to them, because it is what it is. You got to do what you got to do. So that's first trend number one, guys. Online education. People need to build implementation. Nobody's going to buy courses anymore, right? Now let's go over the next trend that I personally think of when I'm building offers. So the first thing is agency market saturation. This is a problem. Course sellers made hundreds of millions, if not billions, creating millions of freelancers and agencies, right? So I got started from this trend. Iman, Sam Ovens, Nick Cosman, all these guys pushed hey, start making money online. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. But the issue is, most of us were sold the idea of delivering one skill, one service. So Iman was saying, start an ad agency. Nick Osman, eventually remote sales or some growth consulting or some whatever. Sam Ovens has become a consultant online, right? They all said become this one thing, right? But this created an influx of incompetent boutique agencies, right? Businesses are tired of working with agencies and paying expensive retainers just to get useless leads. And this is just an example of, you can replace this if you're just a closer, if you're just a sales agency, if you're just a coach, you're kind of like, and you just do one thing, you're kind of like useless in a specific way, right? So what this means is a gap is created for us. Businesses are like, I don't just want an agency to give me leads. I can get leads myself, right? They want instead someone who can come in and bridge the whole gap for them for good, right? And then the other side is agencies are competing on ads, outbound, and the cost to acquire clients is going through the roof. They're having to promote that they'll work for free to get leads and appointments. And guess what's happening? Race to the bottom. All profits have been competed away. But guess what? This is a new opportunity for us because a gap is created. They need a way to acquire clients profitably and charge high enough to afford the good life upfront. Okay. And then the new tech, this I really love, this new tech trend, which is AI, the AI revolution. I also want to show you guys a quick snippet because this is the stuff that you guys need to know and make decisions with it in mind. Okay. I spend a lot of time listening to a bunch of stuff from primarily people who get rich from making bets. Okay. And one of those companies is a company like Sequoia, right? And they had this free YouTube video, right, which I've posted and talked about before. And they essentially are saying that this is about to be the single greatest value creation opportunity that mankind has ever known. And guess what? When value is created, riches are made. Okay? When value is created, that's when you make money. Okay? And I want to just essentially show you guys what they talked about because I mean, I'm going to get on AI trend whether I like it or not. So let's listen to it.
Some of the early days of that cloud transition, this is the best in it.
So here he's about to essentially compare the impact of an old evolution. So like, let's say when cloud computing came about, right? So the ability to host things in the cloud or whatever, he's going to compare it with AI, okay? And he's going to essentially compare market size and market growth and the impact of just this, okay? So check this out, listen.
That we can come up with, which is imperfect for a million reasons, but still useful, is the cloud transition. Over the last 20 years or so, that was a major tectonic shift in the technology landscape that led to new business models, new applications, new ways for people to interact with technology. And if we go back to some of the early days of that cloud transition, this is circa about 2010, the entire pie, the entire global TAM for software is about 350 billion, of which this tiny slice, just $6 billion is cloud software. Fast forward to last year, the TAM has grown from about 350 to 650, but that slice has become 400 billion of revenue. That's a 40% CAGR over 15 years. That's massive growth. Now, if we're going to reason by analogy, cloud was replacing software with software. Because of what I mentioned about the ability to interact in a human-like capability, one of the big opportunities for AI is to replace services with software. And if that's the TAM that we're going after, the starting point is not hundreds of billions. The starting point is possibly tens of trillions. And so you can really dream about what this has a chance to become. And we would posit, and this is a hypothesis, as everything we say today will be, we would posit that we are standing at the precipice of the single greatest value creation opportunity mankind has ever known. Why now? One of the benefits of being part of Sequoia is that we have this long history and we've gotten to sort of study the different waves of technology and understand how they interact and understand how they lead us to the present moment. We're going to take a quick trip down memory lane. So 1960s, Our partner, Don Valentine, who founded Sequoia, was actually the guy who ran the go-to-market for Fairchild Semiconductor, which gave Silicon Valley its name with silicon-based transistors. We got to see that happen. We got to see the 1970s when systems were built on top of those chips. We got to see the 1980s when they were connected up by networks with PCs as the endpoint and the advent of packaged software. We got to see the 1990s when those networks went public facing in the form of the internet, changed the way we communicate, changed the way we consume. We got to see the 2000s when the internet matured to the point where it could support sophisticated applications, which became known as the cloud. And we got to see the 2010s where all those apps showed up in our pocket in the form of mobile devices and changed the way we work. And so, why do we bother going through this little build? Well, the point here is that each one of these waves is additive with what came before. And the idea of AI is nothing new. It dates back to the 1940s. I think neural nets first became an idea in the 1940s. But the ingredients required to take AI from idea, from dream, into production, into reality, to actually solve real world problems in a unique and compelling way that you can build a durable business around. The ingredients required to do that did not exist until the past couple of years. We finally have.
All right. Let me just go back to this. Let me kind of like explain what is just kind of like covered. So the reason why we're probably about to experience one of, I mean, for those, guys, I don't know how many people are keeping up with what the people who own all the money in the world are investing in, right? If you guys keep up, you know, maybe one of the podcasts, they talk about it, All In podcast, I like to share it. You know, Meta, Apple, Google, Microsoft, all these, you know, the big five or the sevens of the world are about to probably invest over, I don't remember how much money, but like probably like trillions of dollars in the next 5 years or so to essentially own all the infrastructure, primarily, you know, data centers and, you know, all the GPUs that they're buying from NVIDIA, because they essentially, what they're thinking is, if AI is going to be the revolution of the future or the new platform, then we want to own the thing on which it's built. We want to be the people who, it's infinitely better for us to lose 10, $20 billion a year or $100 billion a year buying up the infrastructure than to lose the opportunity to be the ones that support this new platform. Okay? So this shift is so big that they would rather lose a whole bunch of money that they have sitting there in their savings than to look back and be like, you know what, we missed out on this trend. But what's even crazier here is the reason why all the money they're investing, billions, trillions of dollars, is still worth it is because we're not just going to be replacing software with software. Like Cloudware is just a more efficient application of software, right? But in this case, we're actually going to replace services. And services, the market size of services, think of every single thing that humans pay for. Education, sales, closers, marketers, all the people who keep on yapping, service people, like all of us on this call, we're literally one team away from getting replaced. And I know that, I accept that. I don't actually care, right? But you're crazy to think that I'm going to use my success to hide away and be like, oh yeah, I've already made it in life. Yeah, right. No success is guaranteed. In business, your profits, like, you know, I think Jeff Bezos says, like, he says that his competition margins is his opportunity. Literally, every day he wakes up wanting to make sure that his competition goes out of business and then gives those profits back to the consumer. So what's going to happen is agencies, service providers, consultants, coaches are going to be useless eventually because you can be replaced with an AI agent, right? But here is where us who are on the other end, who are already doing these things, can take advantage. Well, the value for us is in seeing that, okay, cool. Well, if we're all going to get replaced, well, those companies are going to need someone to help them implement this new technology, right? Since these business owners are like, oh, busy running their little business, then we're going to come in and we're going to monetize what? Implementing new tech, right? But I included AI because it is probably one of the most important things to keep around. Some of the most successful offers we've scaled have AI, are AI related. So these are the main trends, okay? So we can summarize this with three things. What to focus on to inevitably make money in 2024? Focus on solving and bridging new gaps, not the old ones. First thing you need to do, you need either yourself a new business model or help others implement new business models. The second thing you need to sell execution and implementation of the strategies and tactics that they've already learned and been sold. You don't need to teach people what they need to do. They already been sold. Like someone is, as an example, you just sold cold coordinates, talk about short form funnel. You go and implement the short form funnel for a business, right? You don't need to tell people become a teacher. Nobody wants that, right? Just implement in their business and start learning and start getting up to date with AI tools and get really familiar with those things. Every time you see an AI, a way to build an AI agent that can replace a human in a business, do that, help a business implement those things, okay? So the business model we're leveraging to solve these problems and make millions is really simple. This is more so of like a kind of like a explainer of the thing. So what we're going to do is front end, we come in, we solve for the how. Primarily, if you can, give this away for free. Like I like to give information away for free. I'll probably end up putting this video on YouTube for free because I believe information should be your lead magnet, okay? And then all you need to do is implement systems, and if you can, implement talent, right? This is something you can build and release once, right? It's a framework, it's a protocol. You don't have to, talent, you can source them at scale. We can even provide you the talent. You don't need that. And just go sell this for a lot of money up front. And then this is something that I kind of like tweaked recently. Before it was primarily retain people on data, but we've realized that like something that is really exciting, especially with this sales agency as we were building it, is actually you can retain the less successful clients on data and insights for cheaper, let's say for a monthly fee. But for the best clients, the best people that you're helping, you should actually sell fractional services in exchange of a percentage of revenue, right? Meaning you help, let's say 10 clients, 20 clients a month, they're bringing in a lot of money. Actually, I have it here. So let's say your offer is like 10, 15K for implementation. You sell 10 people a month, that's 150K per month. And then, you use that 15K to go build a team to deliver, right? You don't have to be the one that delivers. As an example, if I wanted to deliver Cole Gordon's thing, I would just find someone who's really good at creating shorts and hooks. That person would probably cost $2,000, $3,000 a month. Then I would find a media buyer. They're probably going to cost $3,000 to $5,000 a month. Then I would find someone to help me recruit closers, or I could use a platform. And, for 15K a month, you can replicate what Cole Gordon is delivering. You probably, of course, won't have the data or the proof to back up and get charged a lot of money, but you can replicate that with a team that you pay 15K per month, right? And then you sell each thing for 15K. They can service 10 clients per month. So for 15K, 20K a month, you can deliver on 150 grand a month in revenue. Okay. And then out of the best clients who end up seeing great results, you retain, let's say 15 clients after a year or two of selling this one thing. So let's say every 60 days, 90 days, you ascend one client on the back end offer and you ask for, let's say 20% of profits. Let's say each client is making minimum 100 grand a month. That's $1.5 million in revenue from all your clients. Let's say they have 50% profit margins and you just take 20% of that. So that's an extra 150K a month coming in as free money because you're leveraging the initial team from the build and release to manage on the fractional service, right? The more the successful the clients on here, the better your protocol becomes, and it creates a flywheel. This is why build and release is so good. And this is why most people, like as an example, right now that we start fractional services on the back end, you can't necessarily beat someone who has these two products because here's how it works, okay? The more people you sell your infrastructure to and that implement, the more data you get. The more data you get, the faster you can help your people that you're helping on a fractional service, because you're getting data from, let's say, 50 businesses, and you're improving your process from the 50 people. But since you're also helping here people who are much ahead, the improvement creates a lot more value for them. So let's say these people maybe might implement it to make 30K per month, but if you implement that improvement to this business, you might get maybe you might get them an extra 200 grand a month. Well, if you say that you help the business add an extra 200 grand a month, well, guess what happens? You sell this a lot easier. So your sales, your pitch becomes even more attractive. Your product becomes even more attractive. So you so almost like, this works well. It helps you work this work well. By this working really well, this helps you make a lot more money and improve. So it's a flywheel, right? The better you do for fractional clients, the better your growth infrastructure gets. The more clients you BNR the infrastructure for, the more data you have, you can use it to refine. If you know anything about the flywheel from Amazon, it's really how they dominated. So they started with low prices. With low prices, customers experience better value. So therefore, a lot more people want to go buy from Amazon. Well, if they have more customers, then guess what? People who have products are going to want to sell on Amazon. Well, the more products are being sold on Amazon and the more sellers, the more selection there is, and the more cost effective the infrastructure can be for the whole entire Amazon, right? So therefore, Amazon lowers the prices even further. But it's a flywheel because it compounds. It's not just that the low prices are better for the clients, but it's not that the customer gets low prices and they get more selection. So you get more for less. In this, if you can figure out a way to build this flywheel in your company, time becomes your ally. The more time that passes by, the richer you get. If you understand a way to make time your ally, you never have to work hard. You never have to work hard. You never have to climb up that mountain. Okay? Cool. So, essentially, we spent a month and almost 100 grand building a sales agency through this model. I'm going to walk you guys through everything we built, so you know what is required to build a successful growth creator firm. For a tiny percentage of people watching this, you'll have the opportunity to acquire by what we have built. Main value is, have us implement in your business or go resell it and generate hundreds, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions, for yourself. Okay, so here is kind of like how we did it. In order for us to build a business, we kind of like go through these layers. So we first need to find service market fit. And for us to do that, there's a process we go through. There are some systems we use, and there are people that we make decisions with. Okay. So by going through all of these steps, we end up with a validate or an interesting opportunity. Then once we have an opportunity of offer, a market, and everything like that, then you need to know how to communicate that value, right? This is where we kind of like go into the processing VSL, build out the systems, the funnels, the talent to put all that together, and you have the end product. So we essentially did that for service market fit, value proposition, lead flow, appointments flow, deal flow, onboarding, and fulfillment. And for each of these layers, we ended up creating the end product that was kind of like validated from going through the process. Okay, so this is kind of like a simplified version of the things we had to go. So we had to go through build the offer, which is kind of like this thing here. Then we had to go and put together the infrastructure for ads. Then we had to go into the appointment setting process, which is somewhere here. Then we put together the closing stuff. Then we put together the onboarding stuff. Then the fulfillment stuff, right? This is the stuff that you would normally have to go through if you actually are wanting to put together this thing, okay? And then in 4 weeks, here are the results. In 4 weeks, we validated the offer, built lead flow, built the appointments flow, and got a client and made and actually also made the client $33,000 in a single day. And everything that you're about to see seems simple, but it is not easy. Okay, so check this out. After going through, we built the unique mechanism, infrastructure, appointments, and here's kind of like what it looked like. So this is kind of like the doc for the VSL that we used. So we put together a little VSL with the offer, with the pitch, all that good stuff. Then we put together lead flow. Here we had 200 leads. We essentially spent almost $5,000 running ads for this offer. Average cost per lead was $20. So we had that data. Amount of sales calls on Discord, we looked at the amount of clients closed, 25 calls. So this is kind of like the infrastructure put together for appointment setting. And of course, there was also setters involved, all that good stuff. Then we got paid 5K. This client already had an infrastructure together, so we just kind of like started retaining them. More so, we went straight onto the service side, 5K a month, and percentage of the money we bring in. And we went into kind of like getting them the results, and we generated the first day we delivered, we implemented kind of like, I guess, the fulfillment for this client in the first 24 hours, which was, this is like, we spent like a week or two building stuff. And then once we went live, in the first 24 hours, we booked 24 sales calls. And that same day, they ended at 32K in revenue and 15K cash collected. So what we're about to show you guys is essentially, all of this seems simple. The amount of work we had to go through to actually go from idea to this here is a lot more work than I expected. To be honest, that's why I had to stop doing it, because I was like, if I'm gonna do this, I'd rather do it within client acquisition.io, because I'm like, we're building a lot of, and I'm spending a lot of money building this thing. So I personally, to be honest, I want to own it. I don't want to just kind of like give it away, right? So that's why we had to stop after the first client. And that's why we didn't kind of like go further to scaling to 100K a month, because I'd rather make 100 grand a month in client acquisition.io, not spend a zillion dollars building a business and not getting a piece of that, right? Which is normal. So let's go through the doc. This doc, you guys are not, if you're in the incubator, you guys are going to get access to it. Partners, you guys are going to get it. And what we've essentially done, by the way, is, so the beauty about this process, this 100-page doc that we built, is that it is not just, it's not process driven. Meaning, if you were to go into, I'm going to show you guys. So if you were to go into the typical process, so we have a codex in a program where you kind of like go into like, okay, how do I actually do something, right? So you get this stuff, you would get the, generating ads, so launching ads. So you essentially go through everything you need to know about ads, right? So this is process. This is the how to do something, right? And we do that for every single thing: attention, educating, systems, all that good stuff. The difference between with this doc and this here is that this is the product of going through this amount of work. Okay, so it's not, oh, go through, learn how to launch an ad or do this. No, this is not it. What we essentially did is we essentially built a 100-page doc of the outcome of going through the process, the systems, and the end outcome, right? And we essentially put together in the incubator, what you guys are going to get is the following. You guys are going to get a new base created with all the things that we built through this thing. So essentially, it's the end product that you're getting. It's not just process; it's the end product. The snapshot for the sales agency, which took us a shit ton of time to build. The sequences, the process map, the VSL doc, the AI prompts, the ad assets are proven, the script for sales and setting, the fulfillment assets, the onboarding funnel, the sales enablement worksheet. So you guys are going to get access to this, right? But so essentially, this whole doc essentially is going through everything. And I want to kind of like explain something because it's important for you guys to understand. The reason why I thought fractional sales was good is because, and the reason why build and release doesn't work alone, it works alone, but to retain revenue, you got to give something that is recurring to clients, right? I've made over $8 million in the last two years and a half. And one of the mistakes that I made was not retaining revenue, right? And this idea of coming in on the front end, building and releasing, let's say the systems, the sales systems, the sales process, and then on the back end, retaining with, let's say, managed sales management and fractional sales, if you want to own the talent that does closing, is that every single client that you built and released a system or talent into, you get to retain them on the back end in exchange of a percentage, right? And in this doc, you guys are essentially going to see that the idea for this offer was to come in. The build and release front end would be to improve the company's product market fit, so change their messaging, change the segment of the market they're going after, install a new sales process and install new sales systems, right? And then on the back end, do done for you sales, right? So fractional sales, so literally close deals for them in exchange of 20, 25, 20, 30% of revenue. And then if you can also do marketing for them. So on this doc, we essentially go and explain how to essentially structure this. I know I said 150K a month on the kind of when I was explaining this little thing here, but when you're doing fractional sales, you're better off working with clients doing like $250,000, a 500K a month, because that then becomes really attractive. Because instead of making 150K on the back end, you end up making a lot more money, right? And for build and release, for sales process and sales systems for greater companies, you actually charge infinitely more money than the 15K that I shared here, right? Or shared earlier. For this year, the implementation would be like 25K minimum, because we would come in and build their CRM. We would probably build the whole sales process, the messaging, the sales assets, and that's a lot of work. So you can charge a lot more money, right? And then here, I kind of like went over and shared some of the process of how we essentially went and built the offer, right? So here are the criteria we go about kind of like picking the offer, so you guys can kind of like go through this. By the way, we've already recorded the content of me going through this, so I'm not necessarily going to spend a lot of time going through. This is kind of like the ChatGPT version of kind of like me going through it. This is literally how we're kind of like creating offers. I'm not really building offers by just thinking. I actually just use ChatGPT to build offers nowadays. And shout out to Jamil, who's a member in the incubator, who actually shared this framework, and he actually put it in ChatGPT, and he ended up, and he's making a lot of money from it. So this is good. He ended up sharing this. So you guys are going to get this prompt here. Research and analysis. We needed to figure out a way to do pricing, and we kind of like came up with this idea. So pricing was figured out here. And the reason why I wanted to also do sales enablement is because I recently paid, like earlier this year, someone $100,000 to come in and improve our sales process, and I paid him $100,000. To be honest, I didn't get nothing out of it, right? And I was like, if I was willing to give this person $100,000 and he didn't do nothing for me, I wonder how much money is in this idea of doing sales enablement, right? So this was also an argument why I think solving like sales process and sales infrastructure for companies is really valuable, because I spent a lot of money. I was willing to spend $100,000 than spend my time trying to fix it myself, because I would rather spend $100,000 than to spend my time, because my time is more valuable than spent doing higher leverage thing, than to go in and kind of like build a sales script, build a sales process, audit the constraints in the business. So I was like, $100,000, I can make $100,000 easily. So I'll give it to you. Just save me time and money. But that guy just cost me money and time. So I was like, we got to do a better job here. And the other thing too, with the current world we're in, is that most sales experts, most people out there who says they're salespeople or coaches, they're actually incompetent and just are great on camera, right? And we also have another trend of setters and closers. So there is enough talent for you guys to go out there and actually place these people into businesses without struggling to source them. Okay. And another thing, like I said, I like to build companies when there's already people who have validated it. Ambro, Closing King, was actually from Montreal. He's running an agency now doing fractional sales for some of the top thought leaders and people with a great audience and with a great offer. And I think his company is doing $1 million a month just from doing fractional sales. So literally closing for companies and then getting a percentage of the revenue that they bring in. One of my closer, Hassan, clearing 40K a month from one client doing the same thing. And so these are kind of like the reasons I kind of like put on this doc. The reason was why we thought this would be a great opportunity. So you have all these proof here, case studies to kind of like share with you. Then we kind of like went into the process of kind of like putting the things that we would solve. So like deciding on what are going to be the problems that we solve. Okay, so this is Lucy chart. You guys are going to get access to it. It's kind of like us going over what we're going to be solving in this business. So we come into every business would come in. We would look at first solving their offer, the low lifetime value and low cash collected per call. And then we would look into sales systems and processes. So let's say they don't have lead gen infrastructure, inefficient sales process, lack of systems, lack of metrics. Then we would also solve the talent issue on the front end. And then, or at least these are what they lack. And then we would solve for it. Okay. The first two are done through consulting. Then the systems and process is done through implementation. And then this here is done through fractional management. And that's kind of like how we retain the businesses, right? So this doc essentially goes over like the sales arguments or the process of how we're essentially explaining the thing. Then we put together the mechanism that we would kind of like follow to actually implement in the businesses. This is the unique mechanism. By the way, all these are leading to lessons because these are kind of like already put on circle. So we kind of like, because I did like 2-hour, 3-hour breakdowns every time I was going through this. But we essentially, with the new area that we built for the sales enablement kind of like documentation, we divided the things into shorter versions so you guys can kind of like get it more efficiently, right? So you guys are going to get access to the VSL, which is actually here. So I'll kind of like find it. So you guys will get access to the VSL right here so you guys can use it. You guys are going to get access to the sales process. So the lesson, every lesson is embedded here. The outbound prospecting, the content playbook, kind of like building, nurturing assets, sales assets. And you guys are kind of like going to go get explaining of, the why is it important to create sales assets. And then when it comes to lead gen, for lead gen, marketing team went in and did market research on a bunch of different markets. So you guys are going to get all the insights that we gathered. And then we've built also avatar profiles. And then we put together the lead gen infrastructure. And you guys are going to essentially get access to Loom breakdowns of everything as we were doing it, right? Go high level funnels, everything we built, domain, sales pipeline, GHL calendar, how we were actually integrating these things, right? So we documented us doing it, essentially. Automations, research, development phase. This is like, before we actually went ahead and did everything. ICP, ad angles. You guys are going to get access to the ad angles, of course. Live campaign setup. So you want to actually see Ty put together the campaign. Boom, boom, boom. You're going to get access to this. Creative testing, media buying, scaling spend. As we scaled spend, we documented it. These are the ad angles. I'm not going to go over them. Then we went into the low start of appointment setting. We put together here, you guys are going to get access to the CRM with all these scripts already laid in, the funnels, the trackers, all that good stuff, right? Call reminders. And we also documented the problems we were dealing with, right? So like one of the things we were dealing with is having the wrong phone numbers. And we'll go over how we essentially solved it. Triage script, you guys are going to get access to the script. You guys are going to get access to the sales script. I was actually even thinking, we're also going to potentially find one of the sales calls that we had and actually put it in here so you guys can see how I conducted the sales calls because I was the one selling. The guy who hasn't sold in 3 years was the one selling for this new business, but I personally enjoyed it because the way that we were selling it was not like a typical. The way you sell this type of service is not like you don't just shut up and be like, oh, so what do you think? The price is 15 grand and then you shut up. No, the way we're actually selling this was through auditing the business, right? With the sales calculator. So you guys are going to get to see how I audited the business, and you guys are going to shoot, if you want, use the same process to essentially audit the same, use it to sell. You guys are going to get access to that. You guys are going to get access to, the pitch is recorded, all that good stuff. You guys are going to get access to kind of like these assets. I'm going to show you guys shortly. And then also the daily KPIs, metrics. For businesses that are a little bigger, you need to show them kind of like better assets and show them metrics. Guys, because at scale, as a business owner, when you start building or leading a really big company, it goes from quality to numbers, right? Like for me, to know how client acquisition that I is doing, I can't go and look at a script. I don't have the time. But if you tell me the lead to booking rate, I'm gonna know, okay, cool, the team is doing fine. If you tell me the show up rate, I'm gonna know that it's doing fine. If you tell me the close rate and the average cash collected rate, I'm gonna know how the business is doing. If you tell me the utilization, on a calendar, I'm gonna know how the business is doing. So for you, if you're gonna go charge people 25 grand or 50 grand, and you think that all you're gonna need to tell them is like, hey, we're gonna build your script, and then we're gonna place setters, and then we're gonna place closers, people are gonna look at you like you're crazy, right? So we built this thing. You guys are not necessarily gonna get access to this thing because it's too noisy, but we're gonna be building a simpler version that you guys can use to essentially track. But these are essentially all the metrics that I would want to see in client acquisition.io to essentially effortlessly scale it. Okay, so that I'm not in the weeds, but I can still keep a hand on. And one of the things that I personally was excited about is that for the first time, we've kind of like modeled our client acquisition.io fulfillment, and we essentially built new stuff. So we essentially built a project management tool for you guys, and I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. And also, first time ever, we've also built a snapshot of a Discord server. So instead of you guys having to kind of like go and build the server yourselves, you guys can actually take the same exact server that we built for the sales enablement and literally just click here, boom, and you can duplicate the server right away. And you're going to have a server that is yours, so you can handle all your clients all on there, right? So this is going to be really sick. But let me show you guys real quick some of the things that we did on ClickUp. So the idea with this ClickUp template is the following. Oops. Yeah, because if I use the template, so you guys see here, you guys can kind of like use the template, but I'm actually going to share it on the other side of things. I think I opened it in another place. So what we did with this ClickUp version is that we essentially documented the journey of delivery. We documented the processes. Okay. Yeah, here's where it is. I'm going to show you guys real quick. Let me show you. So, okay, this is sick. I think you guys are going to love it. So what essentially is that we essentially built a ClickUp template, okay? And then you guys are essentially, we believe that if you're going to sell someone 20K, 50K, 20K packages, or really, if you're selling implementation, you need a project management tool. And what we did is the following. You guys are going to have client management folders, right? I can show you guys ours. I'll show you guys ours shortly, but let's say we put incubator clients and partners too. But essentially here, you guys are going to have the processes, okay? So you guys are going to have like a client here. So this would be like the typical process, okay? And these are like the templates. But what you guys are also going to get is the following. We've essentially put the assets. So that means that you can come here and pick and choose different workflows that you want to add and customize the client journey. So that means that you guys are going to essentially get the process, but also other variables that you can pick and choose. And you want to, let's say, set up ManyChat, but you know that in this process, let's say like the short form funnel from Cole Gordon. Well, you would kind of like take it from here and you would add it within the standard process, right? And what this allows you to do is you can have an entire team, right? I'm going to show you guys real quick how we personally do it. You guys can have, hopefully I won't be sharing anything crazy that I shouldn't be sharing. So for us, every single client that we have, we kind of like track everything through here, right? Every client. Doesn't matter what they're doing, doesn't really matter, right? Our job is, can we actually walk clients through this process so that we keep them accountable on progress, right? I'm gonna try to see something. So this is for like incubator clients or GCP, it doesn't really matter. And we can kind of like see, okay, so for Adam, they've gone through all the 45 action steps out of 52 to actually scale and build something. By looking at this, I'm like, oh, this is actually nice. You know, shout out to Adam and shout out to who? Shout out to Isa, who's managing the client. So they went through all the steps, right? And this, having this project management tool, is so nice for clients because you're actually not just letting people like wonder and drift and pay things and that they never implement. You're keeping them accountable. You know, this week you're gonna need to get this done. This is how long it takes. You get it done this week, we get it done. We need to implement this. Okay, cool. Boom, 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 boom. And this is how you kind of like make it unreasonable for your clients not to see results. So we want every single person to be able to have a project management tool. You need to have the processes, the operation, the client management, and even the Discord server. So we put it all together, right? So everything we built here is also, we ended up documenting it through here. So you guys are kind of like gonna be getting access to all of this stuff here. You know, the Lucy charts, just so you guys kind of like keep up with like the visual assets too. So this is going to be good. But essentially, it's everything that we kind of like build that you guys get access to. Okay. Cool. That's what do you guys think? Any questions? Is every NBL call just a mini webinar to upsell us? No, not really. But this is definitely a moment to that we're pitching. But like we also have clients here in the incubator and GCP, so this is not really just for NBL, but this is actually an announcement. But I needed to make this call so clients know what they're getting, because I can't make a Loom video to showcase the value of this, and I needed to go through and do it right. But talking about pitch, any NBL people want to kind of like hear the pitch and the offer for those who aren't already in the incubator? I gotta know. If you guys want to hear the pitch, you tell me. But this Sunday, we're going to be doing the regular offer breakdown. So if you are in NBL and you've recently joined, you just jump on my one-on-one and we're going to actually build this out. This is just a one-off session because we just finished building. Hey, Serge, I'm trying to join an incubator. Already had a call with a team. Do you take e-transfer payment in Canada? Payment links don't work. Yeah, we take wires. E-transfer, I mean, I think we could probably take e-transfers. But payment links work. It's just that we switched payment processors. So but today we should have new ones. So I'll let you guys know. All right, cool. So I'll go straight into the offer just so we can wrap this call up. We have Taylor Welch coming in later today, so I'm trying to get this done really quick. Okay, but check this out. I first want to clarify who this is for, right? So let's get into it. So this is who could get value from this infrastructure. So check this out. The first one is someone who's looking for the right thing to sell or perfect their service delivery. So essentially, what you guys are getting with this 100-page doc is not just find the right offer and market it. No, it's also like, you know, it would be valuable for you to get your hands on all of this stuff because you may probably need it for your clients. So that's avatar number one. So maybe you're running an agency, you're a consultant, you're a coach, and you realize that like your service delivery is pretty shit. And you're like, okay, how can I model and use what Client Acquisition.io has built with this business to implement it, right? And resell it and improve my value. Avatar number 2 is your business model, your acquisition, and your fulfillment. You've realized that it's kind of like going to shit. Why? Because the market has shifted and you want something new. You want something more thorough. You want something that covers everything, not just people telling you that you just need one funnel, not just people telling you that you just need to start a new business. No. How about we change everything, right? And the desired situation is 100K a month with the right vehicle. If you want to make 10K per month, I highly suggest you don't buy this. Like it won't be worth the investment if your goal is to just make 10K per month. So you could probably stay in NBL. I think in their NBL wise, there's already enough value to kind of like get started. But if you want to build $1 million a year profit business, leverage the right model, leverage the right infrastructure. We're giving it to you. Okay. So in 4 weeks, you're going to get access to everything we built. It may seem simple, but it kind of like wasn't easy. I was stressed going through all this, but really how we built the offer, you get the offer. The ads, everything we built, you get it for you. The things we did to generate sales calls, the things we did to get a client, and the things we did to generate the client result, you're going to get access to, right? So this means the 100-page doc, the Lucy charts, the Discord servers, the ROI calculators, all the documentation, all the assets, right? But this is just not it, right? So let me kind of like explain the actual value. For the first time ever, this is the first time that we kind of like built an entire business from scratch and documented everything, and most importantly, put together all the assets, systems, and processes, and that created success, right? So this is not just we're giving you something that didn't generate anything. This is something that actually generates some level of success, not 100K a month worth of success, but something that validated the initial, which is just a matter of scaling it now, okay? And we're now dropping it into the incubator where our clients in there can get it, but also our partners can get it. So the things we did is we spent 4 weeks building this thing, spent $5,000 validating the ads, $60,000 month in payroll, marketing director was involved, systems integrator integrating all the funnels, all the systems, all the zaps, all the crazy things. Head consultant had to make strategic decisions on how to actually go about picking this thing, the opportunity. Media buyer went through this. COO kind of like build the back end of fulfillment for this agency. Triager, closer. I was a closer. So I have my own worth. Okay, 12K a month is good. Funnel builder, 3K per month. So you're essentially getting all this efficiency given back to you through the incubator, right? And we put together, which I just showed you guys, the price for the incubator, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It's 15K, right? It is the price we set. Is it expensive? Is it cheap? I don't really know. I just know that the amount of expenses I incurred, I think for 15K for what we built is decent because I spent infinitely more money building it. But so the main price for incubator for everyone who doesn't know, it's 15 grand. Just so it's clarified, I'm going to put this on YouTube so everyone will know the price. I don't like hiding prices. If you ever get on a sales call, you already know the price. It's up to you to decide if you are okay paying it or not. You'll get the process we took, the recordings of us doing the work, most importantly, the end product of each step we took. Meaning you won't have to go through the process. You can essentially go through the incubator content to learn the why and the how it works, but you won't ever have to spend and waste your life validating the idea, validating the ad funnel and the acquisition, validating the scripts to set or close deals, or figure out the systems, right? We've already spent the money and spent the time on your behalf, okay? And the process is really simple. If you're interested and want to speak with my team, a lot of the people on here are already clients, and so you guys don't necessarily need to go through this. You guys are just going to get access to this. But we're going to put the link to book a call in the chat if someone can put the link, because I don't have the link. You guys can book a call in the next 24 hours. So essentially tomorrow we have, because guys, I did this privately in NBL because I didn't necessarily want to do like a big webinar. But if you guys still want to book a call, you can book a call. But we're going to just publish this on YouTube for free for people to get it at scale. But you can also message me on Discord, Instagram, in case there are no more available slots, because we're only locking slots for today and tomorrow, since we didn't necessarily promote this thing and get hundreds of people on this call, right? So that's one. Now, as you guys always know, for the first movers, action takers, we like to give them an incentive, right? Pricing. So I'm going to go over the pricing that we actually set up for this infrastructure for those who take action faster than most. And here is how it's going to work. For the first 3 people who jump into the incubator, limited to 3. These bonuses and these pricing are only limited to 3. Okay, I'm gonna clarify again. The first 3 people, right? The reason why it's only 3 people is because you guys are going to see the bonuses that we put in. Don't scale, right? We want to lower the barrier of entry and also give you the first time the ability to experience our done for you services that our partners get for a limited time. Okay, let me repeat. For the first time ever, we're going to open up the ability to get done for you services and also give a discount to people. Okay, so option 1, let's say you're someone who already have the right team, you have the systems, and you just want to acquire everything we built at a discount, right? So let's say you're like, hey, Serge, I'm good. I don't need, if you can just give me a discount so I can buy the thing at a cheaper price. I don't need all the all the help from your team to help me implement all this stuff. Okay, cool. I just want to buy it. Cool. You have the ability to buy this for 9K. Okay. That's option 1. For the person who already has the team, the infrastructure, we're going to give you a discount since you won't need much help from us. The second option is the following. 12.5K is a second fee, which is 2.5K discount on the main 15K price, right? This is for you if you'd rather get more value for your money and experience the following bonuses. And please pay attention to the bonuses. For the first time ever, anybody who comes into the incubator, for the first month, we're going to give you free media buying handled by our media buying team. So you don't have to worry about anything. We're going to come in, set up your ads, launch your ads, and manage them for a month, 30 days for free. We're also, this is something that our community, our clients pay for, which is when businesses come in into the incubator, we end up realizing that they lack the team, the talent. So they pay extra for sourcing their team. But if you jump in for this option, you're going to get us access, the ability to scale your team, recruit setters, leverage our pool. And we also, if you want, we'd be happy to remove you from selling, because I know that as a CEO, staying in the trenches and closing and being emotionally invested in your business is the reason why most people never make a lot of money, right? Let's help you find a killer who is just incentivized to cash collect money, and let's place them into your business. Okay. The next bottleneck that we think clients have, that I saw that clients in the incubator deal with, is integrating all the systems, right? Syncing up the Zaps, syncing up the GHL, calendars integration, like all that stuff, it's a friction, right? And for me, I want to remove the friction for those who make sense of paying for more. So we'll come in and actually let our systems integrator connect everything done for you, so you don't have to waste time figuring things out yourself, right? You want to hire media by yourself, you would have to pay 5K per month. If you want to have us media buying for you as a partner, talent sourcing, you pay 1 to 3K per talent that we place, 5K per month for the systems integration service. So you're going to get access to this as a bonus as you come in for the first month for free. Okay. And we've also decided that for the retreat this year, guys, we're going to be delaying it. And actually, we want to do it in Cape Town, right? Because there's so much work right now, and it's Q3 and it's Q4 is about to start. So we realized that doing the retreat next month is kind of like too rushed. So what we want to do is we want to go for a whole month in Cape Town. Maybe, some of you guys want to just come in and stay with us for like a week or so, or just want to come for the mastermind, where we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff AI related. But I'm going to bring my whole team to Cape Town later this year. And this is when we're actually going to be hosting the retreat, because it's also, in Cape Town, South Africa, it's summer there. So let's escape the winters of Canada and let's go enjoy the summers. Okay. Now, one thing you have to realize is that this offer and bonuses bridge the whole gap for you. So, lack of the right proven offer, leverage opportunity. We proved that this is the right this is the right opportunity for you. We proved that this is the right offer. It's already proven. We proved the lead gen system. We proved the appointment setting system. We proved the sales processing script. We proved the fulfillment process. We proved, and in this case, if you get here, right, even if you buy this, you can still get us to find talent for you, but you're just going to pay extra for it. But we're also going to not only just give you all of these systems and opportunity, but you're also going to get us to build you the team to execute and manage these systems, right? And the last thing is, lack of the right environment and community to build and enjoy not just the success, but also enjoy the sacrifices with. We also check that box, right? So this is the offer. It's really simple, but I'm excited to see what you guys end up doing with what we built, with this whole thing that we put together. And yeah, I'm just excited. I'm just excited for everyone who's going to be leveraging this to. For me, the thing I really want to emphasize again, guys, the market has shifted, and I was actually listening to an investor call podcast, I think yesterday, and this guy said that money is actually not made when you agree with what everybody's saying in the marketplace. Money is made when you believe something that a lot of people have yet to start believing. It's the mass market believing something, but you have figured out, you have seen something, and you felt something that goes against what everybody else is thinking, and you go hard on that. That's where most of the money is made, right? So for me, I personally believe that with this idea of building and releasing, the reason why I'm going so hard on this and just coined the term build and release, even if you might call it, implementation, you might call it whatever. The reason why I'm going hard on this is because I believe at my core that the game has changed, and it is up to you to either agree with me or not agree with me, but only time will tell who was right. And there will be two outcomes. Either I was wrong and I'm going to go broke, or two, I was right and I'm going to get infinitely wealthier. So which side of the coin do you want to be on? Which risk do you want to take? It's really the answer. It's really the thing. Because if you just think that nothing is going to change and you keep doing the same thing, then okay, cool, perfect. You're going to get, if you're right, then you're going to keep the same average returns on your time and on your team and on your business. But if you take the risk and bet on a different model, sell different ways, fulfill differently, stop selling just information to people when you know your clients aren't going to get results, right? And just go against the grain, do something different, right? While everybody's saying sell information, start school communities, I'm like, do you guys not understand what value is? Value isn't in teach me how to start a business online. The value is make me money. Does that make sense? I don't remember the last time I bought anything from Iman. I don't remember the last time I bought anything from Sam Ovens. Is it that they didn't help me learn something? Sam Ovens changed my life mindset-wise. But is he still getting money from me? No. Do I have a school community? No. Why? Because it doesn't matter how much information he gave me. I'm not going to keep paying information on the information I got in 2020. I've already used that thing. It ain't making me money no more, right? So that's why a lot of you guys are agencies. So a lot of you guys are coaches. So but the reason why I go so hard on information is because I think a lot of people don't understand that if we were paying ads on Meta and we paid them $50 and it got us leads for $5, but then at some other time it gave us leads for $50 in the same market, you actually would stop using Meta as an advertising platform because it's inconsistent when it comes to delivering value. The reason why we keep spending money on ads every day, I would rather fire my whole team than to stop giving Meta ads, money to buy, my money to Meta, because it consistently gets me the right level of attention for the money invested. It's going to work the same way for your product. You want people to keep paying you? What is the recurring value, and how consistently do you bridge the gap? And guys, consulting is great, information is great, but if all it took consulting and information to get you guys results or to get my audience results, I mean, we would be billionaires today, right? So I'm betting that the future is in selling implementation, and the beauty is as AI comes along, right? We're just going to train all these AI agents on the data we've collected from implementing all this stuff in businesses. And imagine if you owned, so as an example, I'm going to pick an example of an e-commerce offer, right? I'm sure you guys have seen trends where people are selling business in a box in e-com, where you would source the product, build a website, media buy, right? And then maybe get a percentage of that business. This is more so sold to investors, not start an e-commerce business type of low ticket, no, like high ticket investment opportunities, right? I know a guy who made $5 million a month through that. So people are making a shit ton of money selling implementation build outs of stores for like 50K, right? Now, and we actually have clients selling this in GCP, so this is good. But anyway, check this out. Eventually, there's going to come a time where AI agents can build a funnel, the e-com store. AI agents can pick the products, an AI agent can media buy, right? And an AI agent can connect through fulfillment partners, source the products, get it shipped, and send it to the consumer with maybe a team. And that business that sells that opportunity to investors, instead of charging 50K, maybe it will be like 25K because it will still be high ticket, right? But he who owns those AI agents is going to run out every single coach, every single info person in ecom. They're going to run them out of business. Okay? But it is important to understand that true value will come from doing the thing for them, not selling them the opportunity. Now, use this thought process to think about your niche, to think about your current business. Think about, do you really own the infrastructure to get your clients true results and to implement the systems, the processes, and the talent they need? And when AI is about to replace you, do you have enough track record, enough data, enough documentation where you could actually own these agents and run the business without an entire, maybe not necessarily replace your team, but make your team. So let's say instead of having a team of, let's say, 10 client success people, you have one client success person who has 5 agents working for all the clients, and he just manages the things, right? Closing, all that good stuff, emails, setting, all that stuff, right? With a team of like 5 people, you run an entire, you can run $1 million a month business. So that's it for today, guys. We're going to publish everything on Circle, and we're going to be giving you guys access to everything. Probably, Circle, we're probably going to publish it right away, I think. Reg, if we can publish everything. And then again, for anyone who wants to work with us, program is 15K, but for if you're watching this, we're going to release this pretty fast. If you want to take access to either the 9K PIF or the 12.5K, I think it's 12.5K. Yeah, I think it's 12, as I said. You can get done for you ads. We're going to come in, get our hands dirty. Why am I offering done for you? Because I know that if we don't do things for you and you don't have the right team, you're not going to implement fast enough, and you're going to blame me and say, I scammed you. Okay, so for 12.5K, let me come in, let my team set up the ads systems, figure out the talent on your behalf, and let's actually give you leverage. But that's it for today. Any questions? I think I can, let's do 90 minutes of Q&A. So anybody has any questions, just raise your hand, and then we'll unmute you. Edwin, go ahead, bro.
Yo, Serge. Thank you for the call today. Even though I'm in GCI, this has been super
Of
helpful.
course. Yeah.
Kind of giving me a glimpse of what I can leverage in the upcoming days. So I actually just I think got a closer today that I've hired since I'm shit at selling, which is good. But now I have to kind of ramp them up, give me resources and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Can you maybe break down how you guys maybe train closers or how you guys ramp up closers, whether that be placement into other businesses or maybe for yourselves? What does that process maybe look like for you?
Well, I can just we can share with you the ramp up process, like off the
Okay.
call. Yeah, I'll just share with you
Okay.
because it's like, I mean, I can tell you, but I mean, I'll tell you in
Mhm.
5 seconds. So first things first is you need to kind of like ramp them up in a week. So every day there needs to be a ramp up session, preferably 30 minutes to an hour every single day. First day, you train them up on the opportunity, you train them up on the trend, you train them up on your offer. Then the next thing, you train them up on your acquisition. How are you getting leads? How are you setting them? How are you preferably going to sell them, right? The next thing is day 3, you onboard them on the systems. You create their calendar, you create their email, you create their name, you create their users, just systems part, onboard them on the end of the reports, how to use tracking sheets, all that good stuff, right? Day 4, role play. Day 5, role play. If you want,
Mhm.
by day 5, you can give them a call and kind of like test them. You also on that call, but it's really those first 5 days, implement, ramp them up on your business everywhere, everything, and then give them a few calls. Probably if they don't close out of 5 calls, they're out. I would say 6 calls, maybe at most. If you can afford to keep wasting money, maybe 10 calls. But out of 6 calls, if they don't close, you replace them, find another closer. Did we place the closer, by the way? Did we help you source them, or you found them yourself?
No, I found him from a friend. He was able to refer me to the closer, but then also ran ads. But I think he's probably the best choice potentially. Maybe I was kind of deciding, but the other ones they kind of they weren't interested anymore in closing. So I was like, I think from what I have in terms of the base of closers I have,
All
he's
right,
probably
cool,
the best.
perfect. That's it. But yeah, we'll show
Yeah,
you the process, but
yeah,
it's pretty
cool.
simple. All right, cool. Any other question, guys?
Okay, awesome. Oh, and Serge, real quick, is that in the 100-page doc, or is that just like like later in
The ramp up
Discord?
is not in. You mean the ramp up? No, it's not in because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we didn't ramp up a sales team. I was closing.
All right, because he has already, right?
No,
Right.
not really. I was closing.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Cool.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else has a question? Do NBL member have access to Circle? Yeah, you have access to Circle, but you're not accessing the same circle that is with the incubator. Well, there is different levels of access. All right, guys. This was good. Hope I kept it under 3 hours, so that's good. But yeah, guys, I'm excited to drop this, and please let me know if you guys find it valuable for clients, partners, GCP, and incubator. You guys are gonna get access to this, and yeah, please use this and change your life. All right, guys, take care. Love y'all. Bye bye.